So after months of searching Marketplace and Craigslist, and I've looked everywhere from Pittsburgh to Cleveland to Cincinnati, all around trying to find an RM85 that's been neglected. And I didn't want to pay COVID pricing for something either. I just wanted some bikes that were in the pile in the corner. I finally came across this gentleman's ad. And I saw the main bike originally, and I never clicked on it, but then late at night watching Supercross, I then revisited it and I saw this little bike and I'm like, wait, that's another bike. So reading the description, it says there's a 2016, it just needs linkage, and then it says a project bike. So I'm not sure. I did message him, and he in the boxes, he said that he has everything to completely rebuild the second bike, he thinks, and maybe a third engine. It's kind of confusing, but he might have a third engine that was maybe a factory RM motor. So we'll see. But looking at the 16, I think maybe it needs more than just, linkage. It's missing everything on the left handlebar. The seat looks horrible, so we'll have to do a new seat cover on it. But I'm hoping everything else on that bike's pretty decent. And if you look at the other picture he posted, these are the only two pictures he has of everything. This side of the bike looks pretty decent, so with any luck, we could maybe have the 16 up and running pretty quick. But the exciting project for me is going to be that one. So I've arranged a time to go meet him. We're going to get everything in our trailer. We'll bring it back to the shop and we'll show you guys what we ended up with. Pretty excited to get the next build underway. Good morning, dude.
Yes.
What are we going to get?
Dirt bikes, I guess.
RM85s?
Yes.
You going to rebuild them? Pumped?
Yes.
All right, dude. Let's go get these things. All right, so we just got back with the two RM85s that we found on Marketplace. Guy was super cool. He met me halfway in Erie, so saved me some drive time this morning. So we're back by 10. There's a ton of parts in here. Like both of the bikes have tons of stuff off of them, so I'm hoping that most of it's in these boxes. So me and the kids will have to go through this and see what we even have. Like this is a Cobra exhaust, so it's obviously not. It's like a 50 exhaust. And then I guess, and I did look in there, but there's a PR2 engine, race engine. I think it's a 105 is what the sheet said. We'll open that up and learn more about it later. But there's like the forks. This is the, I don't know, maybe a spare rear wheel. And then this is the 16. There's no brake, no clutch. So hopefully all that stuff's in these boxes as well. But super pumped. The kids and I, we can rebuild these and do some riding with them this summer, and maybe get Braxton to do a race on one of these. It'd be cool. All right, so this morning we had these in the back of the truck and we brought them in, and throughout the day in between customers we've been picking away at the list. Braxton's done a great job. So in this box we have a spare carburetor, some pistons, a spare side cover, some reeds, a stator, some front wheel bearings, a bunch of bolts, coolant hoses. This is the left-hand cover for the 2006, and that's supposed to be a water pump. And we found in a box this one, but I'm not sure if we'll use that. We'll have to learn more about what this one is. Some random bolts, a couple sets of front brake pads, some rear brake pads, like 4 or 5 chains, a ton of clutch plates. There's a whole clutch basket, clutch plates, clutch springs, all brand new in the packaging. A lot of these parts back here for the 06. Both radiators are pretty trash, so unfortunately we're probably gonna buy a radiator or two if we get both the bikes going. This is that PR2 engine. It came with a whole build sheet. The build sheet is on my desk. We'll go through it, and it talks about like what pistons to use if you rebuild it, and I haven't read the whole thing yet. These are some triple clamps. They had 2 uppers. This I think is going to be for the 06 when we get there. A spare air box, a spare pipe. This seat must go on the 2016 even though they've got that yellow one on there, so we'll definitely probably take that off, put this seat back on it. There's no linkage on either bike. This is brand new in the packaging, and this is not labeled. It says sealer, that's all it says. I'm assuming I can build a linkage with that, hopefully, so we can at least get one of these bikes rolling. Some levers. These are the only levers that even looked close to working, and that brings us to the next pile. This is all broken. Braxton found all these. Every single one of these is snapped off, broken. And none of these are really even for the bike that we're working on. So, as well as all this, none of these parts in either of these boxes go to a Yamaha or a RM85. It's like 50 parts, Cobra 50 parts, full-size Suzuki parts, weird handlebars. So these 2 boxes, I guess we'll sort out over time. Not really concerned about those. So for the 2016, we've got the whole front end. But I did notice that this isn't even tight, so we'll take this all apart. We'll grease the steering stem. We found the front brake, and we found the clutch system that goes with the perch on the counter there. So I think we got brakes, clutch, front end. There was not a water pump cover on this when we got the bike, but we did find this cover that goes on there, and luckily found a brand new gasket too. So super pumped to be able to put that back on there. This bike right away, before we even try to start it, we'll do a spark plug in it. We'll take the carburetor off, we'll clean the carburetor out, get our clutch hooked up, get this back on, coolant in it. And none of these plastics are really lining up like they should. I don't know if the silencer is even attached. And obviously the gas tank's not on right. So first thing we'll do is steering stem bearings, blow this all apart, clean everything under there. And then in the back of this thing, when we got it today in the trailer, this is absolutely not right. But I did find this, but there's no other axle block or nut. So we do have to order some parts for this one. The rear brakes though are all together. Tires are flat, so we'll see if they hold air. If not, we'll put some heavy duty tubes in there. This one needs a chain, but we got a bunch of chains. Probably do new sprockets while we're doing it. Not in love with either of these ones. So that's the 16. Oh, and then over here we've got a bunch of spare brand new tires, which is cool. Full inventory of these. These are both 17 fronts, but then these are 16 rears, which don't help the 85s unless it's a super mini or big wheel. And then these wheels are sweet. They're in great shape. 2 complete sets minus the wheel spacers. And that brings us to our big project. This is going to be the 06. This one's pretty tired. Didn't find anything for a clutch system really. Found this really dirty brake system. Pretty much all blown apart. Bolts don't line up or match. So this one will be fun. This is going to be probably an all summer project. So they keep checking back for projects or for progress on this bike. These are just kind of rusted in place. Whole thing, we'll strip the motor all the way down, tear it apart, rebuild it. We'll have cases and everything vapor blasted, get the cylinder replated. So that's the 06. This is the 2016. I think we did really good. I think in this series what we'll do for these RM85s is we'll go over everything that we've done. So we spent $2,500 on all of this. I think it was a pretty good deal. I don't think we're gonna have much money in getting the 16 going, and I'll keep like a running tally for you guys so you can see what we spent on it to get it going. So I think the first thing that we'll end up doing is we'll inventory a bunch of this. We'll put all the 2006 stuff away. We have a bunch of race bikes that we need to get going. Race season's upon us, so these are fun, but we've got other bikes to ride and race and get ready. So 06 stuff's gonna go up on a shelf. 2016 we'll bring up on the workbench here. We'll start tearing it apart, and I don't think we're far away from making that bike a runner. Feel free to subscribe and tag along. It's gonna be fun. We'll get these bikes built up, and maybe we can get Braxton to do a race on one of the RMs instead of the Yamaha. So he's on an YZ85 right now, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we put a motor in that one too.
Yes.
We didn't film any of that, but we did. I'll put a little picture in here of the 85 that we rebuilt. And we also rebuilt your KTM 65s too.
Oh yeah, we did that.
I'll put a couple more pictures in here right now of the KTM 65s that we did. So we really like doing this kind of stuff. It's fun. He learns a lot. So yeah, I'll attach some pictures of some of the KTM 65s and the YZ85 we've already done. So stay tuned.